Hello everybody. Today's a special shave. It's a shave I've been waiting for a long time. And it's, again, courtesy of Krzysztof Ludwig. He sent me a loaner of the infamous Muhle R41. Gonna be shaving with that today. And this is the 2011 model, which is the older model. Going to be using a fresh feather blade. Show that to you. Show me putting it in. I got a whole variety of blades I could use with this, but I decided that there would be some people that would say, well, it's not really a test unless you use a feather. You haven't gotten the full experience unless you use a feather. And there's a piece of something on that blade. There we go. So, blade exposure, good, lined up very well. This razor is heavier than what I anticipated it being. It's a pretty hefty razor. Pretty hefty. I'm going to be using Sterling Soap Company, Ben Franklin. This is a tallow-based soap. Tallow, castor oil, almond oil, glycerin, some shea butter, some coconut milk, some lanolin. Good stuff. Got it in my Old Spice mug. And Michael Freeberg. Almost got it Titanic. Almost got it there. And for those of you that aren't members of the Big Shave and understand our phraseology, Titanic was a phrase that I believe was coined by Michael Smith in one of his comments, and Michael Freeberg picked it up and is championing the concept of taking a product, using it straight through, finishing it, and then moving on to the next product. So Titanicing something is basically just grabbing hold of it and using it up. And I've been working on this for a while. I've also got a new addition to my shave den. A brush that I got and needed some help. And I posted it on the Big Shave. A boar brush. A boar brush that I think in its previous life was a paintbrush. This is called a Super 7, whatever that is. I've restored this brush, cleaned it up. This was the nastiest brush in the world. The hairs were, again, like that last brush I did, they were like that in a little cone, little tube, real tight. It had paint in it, and then deep down it had some other stuff. I've used my ultrasonic cleaner on it. I've cleaned it. I've worked with it, and phenomenally. I mean, of course, I've sanded and put a new coating of True Oil on it. But this brush, flat top, short and stubby, boar hair brush. It's pretty soft and it does a wonderful job of lathering, which hopefully you'll see. Also got a new addition, a vintage bottle of Lilac Vegital. And this is a different formulation. I looked online and I said, what's the ingredients of Lilac Vegital? And I looked it up, and it was this formulation that's online. SDA alcohol 40, water, fragrance, FDC yellow number 5, and FDC green number 3. I came up to the den and I picked up my other bottle of Lilac Vegital, the one I've been using. Its ingredients: alcohol denatured, water, fragrance, benzoyl alcohol, limonene Limeonene, linalool, linalool, green number 3, and yellow number 5. So it's got a different formulation. And the first couple of splashes I've put on my face this morning, the vintage smells a little milder, smells a little mellower, and the face feel, it doesn't have that lotiony, soft face feel as much. But here we go. I'm going to soak my brush for a minute. I've prepared my face in the shower, just soaping it with regular soap. I'm going to put a little bit of water on there. I've loaded my feather blade. Shake out the brush a little bit. And here we go. There we go. It's got an interesting shape, but spread the lather on pretty good. Okay, rub that in a little bit. Okay, R41, old version R41, feather blade. First pass, first impressions. Feels very much like my Ginger razor, my vintage Ginger razor. It feels not unlike the Matador Toro Mastiff in some respects. I can't say, even with feather blade, that it's totally that much more aggressive than several other razors, including the Razor Rock Jaws, I'm trying to be open-minded about this. I've had my initial thoughts were kind of along those lines, that from the feel of some of these other razors that I've used and the aggressiveness of them, looking at the designs, and how they felt, I just couldn't see how this razor and this design and the way it holds the blade, from the pictures that I could see, how it was going to be that much more aggressive than a lot of other razors. I can feel the blade, but I can feel the blade in a lot of other razors too. The blade sensation is not unlike a lot of single edge razors, where you feel the blade and you get that feel. But you can actually sense that blade cutting the whiskers, rubbing across the face. Now I did detect a few spots, particularly along my lips up here, which is not unlike some other razors, that if I were to just do the wrong angle, it would reach out and bite, and it would bite hard. Let's see, I've got some weepers. So from that, I can understand how people get torn up, because there's just enough blade sticking out that it can bite you. That's not unlike a lot. And it's been a long time since I've used a feather blade. A long time. In particular, first use feather, that it was a little bit harsher. But overall, I'm not getting any sting with the alum outside of those few spots in the curvy areas. Other places, not so much. This baby bed's smooth for the most part. I could clean up a few spots, my normal spots. There's a spot right there, a spot down here. But overall impressions, the Muhle R41, I can understand where people are fearful of it, just from the fact that using this blade, it gave me a few weepers. Distinguishing it that much more above and beyond other razors, I don't see it. It's just an aggressive razor. And probably the fact that this is not a pure open comb, because it's got a straight bar with curly cues kind of looking, but it's not a true open comb design. It's sort of a semi-open comb design. Because of that, I think that's what makes it be more aggressive and harsh. So if I were to say anything about the R41, I would say that if it were a true open comb, it would shave just as comfortably and not be quite as harsh. Yeah, this Lilac Vegital, it's a different formulation. And I think it's because it's vintage too. At first splash, it has less aroma and more alcohol. So I don't know if I'm going to replace that or try to add some more Lilac Veg. It's not bad, but I would come closer to saying this formulation of Lilac Vegital smells nastier than the current one. And there's all kinds of analogies that people make related to what this Lilac Vegital smell like. And so if I were trying this vintage and it actually did smell like this vintage, I could understand why people would say, "Whoo-wee, it smells like cat urine." Because I can pick that up in that smell. But for me, the current formulation, I don't get that. So, make comments. Join us at the Big Shave on Facebook. Subscribe to my channel. If you got comments, questions, let me know. I'm going to keep on running with this razor for probably a week and then get it back to Krzysztof. Thank you again very much, Krzysztof. So I'll be posting on the Big Shave about my further impressions of the Muhle R41. But yeah, it did scrape me up pretty good, but I think that's a function of not having that lather to glide in it, pulling off that lather. And it's the lather that allows you to have a more aggressive razor in an open comb design than in a straight bar design. So maybe using a pre-shave oil will give me a little bit different result. I'll keep using the feather for at least a day or two and see what happens. But it wasn't bad weepers, it wasn't cuts. So until next time, have some good shaves, be happy, and be safe. See you later. Bye-bye.